Hey guys, how's it going? This is Autobot JCB here, coming to you with a brand new How to Transform video. In today's video, we're going to be jumping back into Transformers Energon for part 1 of my 3-part Transformers Energon Combiner series. Now, as you can see here, I have five characters with me. Today, I have Sledge, Heavy Load, Steam Hammer, Dust Storm, and Bone Crusher. These 5 are the Transformers Energon Constructicons. Now, those of you who are fans of the Constructicon characters, you guys will know that in the G1 series we had Devastator. These guys were the reintroduction of the Constructicons into the Transformers Energon series. However, even though they can combine, they're actually called Constructicon Maximus. I'm going to be showing that to you in this video, and we're going to jump right in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take 3 of these 5, since these two and these two these two have the same alt mode and these two have the same alt mode. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to transform 3 of them, and then I will show you the alternate secondary mode with the extra pieces. So for right now, we're going to move Bone Crusher, Sledge, Dust Storm, and Heavy Load off to the side, and we're going to bring in the body of Constructicon Maximus, and this is Steam Hammer. As you can see here, Steam Hammer's vehicle mode is that of a huge digging machine. I don't know exactly what this type of machine would be called. What I do like is that he does have the scoop, and it does actually go up and down, and then of course he has the hydraulic arm right here. Then he can also open this bucket right here so he can actually dump whatever he scoops up, stuff like that. And then, of course, you see right here, he's got the treads on him. And what's neat about these is these can actually turn. They don't really work well if you're trying to like roll them across the table or anything. But these will actually do a 360-degree rotation just like that. And one thing you'll notice is that the combiner transformers for Transformers Energon have these gear-shaped outlines on here. I think that just signifies that they are combiner class transformers. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and start by transforming Steam Hammer. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take these gray panels right here, and we're going to flip these out to the side just like this. And then what we're going to do, if you have to, go ahead and turn this to get out of the way. If you look right here, you'll see that there's a little tab, and if you pull on it, it will actually unpeg right there. And then you come over to the other side, we're going to unpeg that right there just like this. If I can get it. There we go, just like that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this whole section and we're going to bring it down 2 clicks and then flip it out just like that. Oh, I guess 3 clicks. So we'll do that to the other side too. 1, 2, 3, and flip out just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and flip these down onto the side of these pieces right here, because these are actually going to form Steam Hammer's legs. So now we'll turn them like this. And what we'll do is we'll actually go back down and put them just like that. So that way these gray panels are on what will become the hips. So I'll bring it back down just like that. And then what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and where this hinge is right here, we're going to go ahead and just bring it up just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll give the hips a 180-degree turn and then bring these gray panels down just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll flip out the feet, and I do apologize. I actually did that backwards. I'm very sorry. Flip these back up, spin this back around because you want this solid gray piece, green piece right here. Spin these pieces around 180 degrees, so that way the purple pieces line up with where this dot and this bubble are. I am very sorry about the confusion there. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do, I'll go ahead and bring those back down first of all. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to grab the tank treads and we're going to bring them all the way down off his back just like that. Here, we'll do this. And then what we'll do is we'll grab the whole scoop and we're going to bring it around just like this and bring it down. If you can avoid it, try to have it aligned where the big pin is facing on the front. It's really entirely up to you. I don't think it really matters how you do it, to be honest with you. But anyway, the scoop will actually become one of his arms. And then what we'll do is we'll come over here and we'll flip this one all the way around because this is his other arm right here. And then what we'll do is we'll come around to the back and you'll see that there is a port right here and there's a pin right here. All we really have to do is we just have to turn this, make sure this green piece is up on the top. You'll see that there's black. Now there's green. We want green going up. And then what we'll do is you take this double hinge and get it down below that other hinge right there, and then bring this in and click it into its port just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll come back here, we'll open this panel, and we'll push up on this black piece, or you can pull it forward just like that, because that will reveal Steamhammer's head. And then we'll go ahead and close that panel. And then finally, we'll go ahead and click his waist together. And there we have Steamhammer. I love that with the core of the Constructicon combiners, they actually kept the green and purple, which is obviously the iconic Devastator colors. I honestly wish that with these sets, I know that they doubled up on the smaller ones, but what I really wish is that they would have come out with 5 individual vehicles to give it more of a variety instead of just doubling up. Now, one thing you'll probably notice that as we were transforming, you noticed that this pin right here and this pin right here, these are will actually be the link ports, where the smaller figures will actually link on to them later on in this video. So for right now, there is Steamhammer. We'll go ahead and pull him off to the side. And now we're going to show you Sledge and Bone Crusher. Now, one thing I like about these guys is not only do all four of the smaller pieces, they all come with their own Energon stars. And then you'll notice that each one of them has a blue piece, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are unique for each one of these characters. These figures were actually sold individually. So if you collected all 5, you could actually build the Combiner Transformer. I know for the movie toy line, they kind of reintroduced these figures and they released them as a complete set. But honestly, I think it was more fun tracking down the pieces individually. But anyway, let's get back on topic. Now I'm going to show you Sledge and Bone Crusher. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to transform a Sledge that way, and these two will transform the exact same way, so you can watch this part of the video for either one of them. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually take off this piece right here. We're going to set that off to the side. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move the scoop up out of our way. Now, it is optional. You can take off the Energon star just so you just to put it back on later. It's entirely up to you. But the next thing we're going to do is you're going to come right here and you'll see this wheel. It's actually on a little pin. And if you just move it off to the side slightly and bring it up, it will actually reconnect onto another spot right there. So we'll unpin it here, bring it up here, and pin it back down. The next thing we'll go ahead and do is we're going to grab right here, and we're going to go ahead and pull this off the back of the cab for the bulldozer, and bring that down just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and bring this just like this. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to flip them over, because we're actually going to be taking this whole section. There's actually a little connector piece right here, and it will actually link into this port right above this connection port. So we'll go ahead and bring this all the way down and click it into place, and then turn his waist 180 degrees. So now he looks like that. The next thing we'll do is we'll take both the other 2 tires, and we'll bend them back, click them twice back, and then grab this section right here and bring this off to the side. And this gray panel will actually fit into this groove right here, just like that. And then go ahead and fold down the arm. So we'll fold it over, line that up, and then fold down the arm. And there we have Sledge. Now, like I said, Bone Crusher's alt mode is virtually the exact same, other than the difference in the color. And what's cool is that these pieces right here, they can actually fold out into weapons as well as accessories for when they combine. So for Sledge, if you fold it out just like this, now he has what appears to be like some type of pickaxe or a shovel, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, there is Sledge and Bone Crusher. And we'll go ahead and put his Energon star back on. And now we'll bring in Heavy Load and Dust Storm. as you can see here, their vehicle modes are both cranes with these huge claws on them, which I think are really cool. And we're just going to do the same thing that we did with the other two. So we'll just set one off to the side, and I'll show you how to transform Dust Storm. Now, this is entirely optional if it helps you, but go ahead and take off the crane claw to start with. Like I said with the other figure, you can take off the Energon star if you want and put that back on later. But what we're going to do first is we're going to grab the crane and we're going to bend it up just like this. And this piece right here, we're going to fold that down just like that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the crane and we're going to move it off to the side on the hinge that's right here. And we're going to straighten we're going to keep the crane up just like that, excuse me. Next thing we'll do is we're going to grab the cab of the crane and we'll bring it out just the same way. And then we'll turn it and bring out that right there because that is actually Dust Storm's arm. The next thing we'll do is this is actually Dust Storm's head. So we'll go ahead and turn it, and then this whole section is on a plate that will actually rotate 180 degrees. And then there's a hinge right here where you can flip this back to cover up the connector port for their combiner mode. The next thing we'll do is we'll bring his shoulder back the rest of the way, turn his arm, bring his shoulder back the rest of the way, and turn his arm. And then finally what we'll do is we'll come down here and we'll separate the front portion of the truck, of the crane, and then we'll go ahead and flip this panel up just like this panel up just like that, and flip that up just like that, flip that up just like that, and there we have Dust Storm. I honestly think it's pretty cool that they incorporated his crane as a weapon. What I really like is that you can actually extend the crane a bit. It doesn't go by much, but it does actually extend, which I think is a nice touch. And then it just clicks back into place. And then the claw that you took off can be mounted in his hand. And this is all the same for both Dust Storm and Heavy Load. And then the claw can be opened up. And then, of course, you can actually remount the Energon star on top of the crane. Just like that. All right, so there we have Dust Storm. Now, like I said, these guys, when they are transformed, they have the same design. They have the same design. And then, of course, you'd have... So basically, this is what all of them will look like when they're transformed, more or less. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and show you how to combine all 5 into Constructicon Maximus. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to start with these two, because these two will actually form the legs of Constructicon Maximus. So we're going to move Sledge and Dust Storm and Steam Hammer back out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and start with these guys. Now, for transforming into the leg of Constructicon Maximus, this is actually really easy. All you have to do is just flip this piece out, and then flip this forward, and you're literally done. And it'll just peg right into that port right there. It's entirely optional, I guess. If you wanted to, you could fold up the scoop like that. Just make sure that you have the clearance to connect Steam Hammer's leg onto that port right there. But if you wanted to, I suppose you could have like an armored kneecap or something. But anyway, there is Bone Crusher. Now for Heavy Load, he is actually pretty easy to do. Instead of taking the claw off, what we're gonna do is we're actually just gonna move the claw up, and what we'll do is we'll actually fold the claw back, and you'll notice that there's a pin right here and there's a port right here. So if you go ahead and line that up and peg that into that port right there, and then go ahead. I actually did that backwards. I apologize. Go ahead and unpeg that if you guys have already pegged it in. Move that up. Fold out the feet. What would be the feet of his alt mode first, because this will actually double as his foot. So we'll go ahead and flip these out just like that. And then what we'll do is we'll put them back together and then bring the crane down and link it into that port right there. And that's the other leg for Constructicon Maximus. So there we have the legs already set to go. We're going to go ahead and move those off to the side, and we're going to keep on going. Oops. All right. So now what I'm going to do for Steam Hammer, his transformation, there are a couple of spots we'll go slow at because they can be a little troublesome. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to flip open this panel on his head, and we're going to flip his head back down and close that panel. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and bring his arm up, bring his other arm up, and then we're going to unfold him just like this, unpeg this from his back. Now you'll notice, give me 1 second. Okay. What we'll do is we're going to go ahead and bring up the cab of this truck, of the excavator mode, excuse me. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring it in just like this. Now you'll see this pin right here, it needs to peg into this spot on his arm, because that will allow you to create the connection where one of the other figures will connect onto his, because this is basically his shoulder joint right here. Now, as for the steam hammer piece, you'll see that there's another port right there and another pin right there. So you fold in the hinge so it sits just underneath the cab of the truck. Bring it up. And what did I do here? I think I did something. Oh, I am terribly sorry, guys. It's actually this port on the black section of the scoop. I'm very sorry. But once you get those pegged in, those will become the shoulders for his super mode, or whatever you want to call it. And then go ahead and bring the treads back up. And now you take and link it in this pin into this port right here. And then you could have it like this, or you can have it like this. I don't think it really matters. The next thing we'll do is we're going to go ahead and come down here. We're going to flip up these panels right here. And then we'll flip up his feet just like that. Now in here, there are a couple of pins. And what you do is when you pop it off the pin, there's not really an exact way to do this. Honestly, I've had to actually go in here with like a little screwdriver to pop it off. But what you do is when you pop it off, you'll slide it up and then it'll pin into another port in here. And I'm not getting it to port. There it goes, clicked in, which will reveal the leg port for combiner mode. So we'll go ahead and flip that up. Push that up in there and peg it back in. And now what we'll do is we'll repeg that pin into that port right there. And then bring these back down just like that. And there we have the body of Constructicon Maximus. Now you can either do this now or do it after you combine them. But if you flip this panel up, it will reveal the head of Constructicon Maximus. So far we have the body and the legs. All right, so now we're going to do the arms, which are made up of Duststorm and Sledge. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and put these guys right back in vehicle mode. So fold up the arms, bring these pins up just like this, and go ahead and push down the tires. Then we'll move the scoop out of the way. We'll turn this back around. Unpin it from his back, bring it all the way up. Actually did that backwards. Pop those back out, flip that up, and those go in just like that. There we go. Got stuck there, sorry. There we go. All right. So now what we'll do is we'll bring that up, flatten that back up, flip this all the way back, and put it back on that pin right there. Okay. And then this is entirely optional. You can leave the tires like this, or you can put them back into their set position just like that. I like to leave mine out because I honestly think it makes them look a little more intimidating. And then we'll go ahead and fold this in just like this. Now you'll see the port right here, how it's facing out. If you take your finger, you can actually pop it, and that way it makes it easier to get his arm latched on. And then what we'll do is we're going to take this blue piece, and we have a little pin here, and we have two ports right here. We'll go ahead and bend this out just like this, and bend this piece down just like that, because that's actually like a claw. And it'll peg in right here, and right here. So we'll go ahead and get those lined up and put those all together just like that. And there we have Sledge in his arm configuration for Constructicon Maximus. So 4 down and 1 to go. And finally, we're going to go back. We're going to turn Dust Storm back into vehicle mode. So we'll go ahead and, we'll flip his arm up and we'll bring that up just like that. And then we'll bring this up just like this. Now for this one, I know with Dust Storm, I had you open these up. What you'll want to do is you want to close these because that's how it states it in the instructions that those stay closed. We'll go ahead and put that back together just like that. All right, and then we'll bring his head up just like this. Bring his head off to the side just like that. And then we'll turn this 180 degrees again. Fold this in. And then you see this little pin right here. It'll go right into that port right there. And then the cab of the crane just sits right back on top of his head just like that. And then you've got the pin right here, which will port back into that hole right there. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead and bring the crane back down, flip up the arm, just like that. So basically, he's back in vehicle mode. But the only difference is you actually take the claw, put it back in its port, but leave the claw open. And then same thing with Sledge. We'll go ahead and pop these pins down a couple times. And there we have both of the arms for Constructicon Maximus. Now, if you guys give me 1 second, I will be right back and we will get on to combining him. All right, guys, and we're back. As you can see here, I've got all the pieces arranged and we are ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and start with the legs and then put the arms on, and then then you will see Constructicon Maximus. So with this, like I said, with this port right here, just go ahead and link it right onto that, just like that. And it'll click in. It's typically a pretty solid connection. Sometimes they pop out. That's just the way they're designed. Okay, so there's heavy load. And we'll bring that back out. And there we have Bone Crusher. And already Constructicon Maximus is standing up, which is great because he needs to be pretty sturdy if he's going to have all these heavy construction vehicles on him. And then we'll come over here and we'll do, give me 1 second, there we go. And then we'll put on Sledge. And then finally, we'll put on Dust Storm. And there we go. We have the mighty Constructicon Maximus. Personally, I think that this figure is really well done. I do like that they gave us a new introduction of the Constructicon series. Like I said earlier in the video, I really wish that they could have, instead of having two identical pieces for each limb, that I wish they would have had just 5 individual vehicles that obviously all made the same result. But I have to admit, it's a great design. It's a sturdy design. And frankly, I like it. But anyway, so there we have the 2004 Transformers Energon Constructicon Maximus, made up of Steam Hammer, Dust Storm, Sledge, Heavy Load, and Bone Crusher. If you guys have any other ideas for other Transformers you'd like me to do, feel free to comment below. Even hit that like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and I will do what I can to help you out as we go. Until then, bye.